What if I told you that right now, at this exact moment, there's a missing person's phone still sending text messages 3 years after they vanished? What if I told you that every person who replied to those messages has also disappeared? And what if I told you that tonight, at exactly 3:17 a.m., you might receive one of those texts yourself? This is the story of Emily Hart, a college student who didn't just disappear. She became something else entirely. And before we dive into this nightmare, I need you to promise me one thing. If your phone buzzes during this video, especially if it's past 3 a.m., don't look at the screen, because once you see her message, she can see you too. Emily Hart wasn't your typical 22-year-old college student. While her classmates at Northlake University were partying, posting on social media, and living their best lives, Emily was different. She was a literature major who spent her nights in the library reading ancient texts about folklore and urban legends. Her professors described her as brilliant but distant, always sitting in the back row, never speaking unless spoken to. But here's what made Emily truly unusual. She had no digital footprint whatsoever. No Instagram, no Facebook, no Snapchat. Her phone contained only basic contacts, her roommate, the university, and one mysterious number saved as home that she never called. Her roommate Sarah later told police that Emily would often wake up in the middle of the night, staring at her phone with a look of pure terror. But when asked about it, she just whispered, "He's getting closer." Nobody knew. Who he was, nobody thought to ask. But on October 12, 2021, they would all find out. October 12th started like any other night for Emily. She'd been in the university library since 8 p.m., researching her thesis on digital hauntings in modern folklore, a topic that now seems eerily prophetic. Security footage shows her leaving the library at exactly 2:57 a.m. But here's what the cameras also captured that police initially missed. Emily wasn't alone. If you look carefully at the timestamp, 2 hours, 58 minutes, and 33 seconds, there's a shadow moving parallel to her, but it's not casting from any visible source. At 3:02 a.m., she exits the main gate and takes her usual shortcut through the alley behind Jefferson Street. But witnesses who lived nearby reported something strange that night. They heard 2 sets of footsteps, but only saw one person walking. At 3:15 a.m., Mrs. Chen, who lived above the convenience store, heard Emily's voice in the alley below saying, "I know you're there. I've been expecting you." And then, at exactly 3:17 a.m., Emily's phone sent the first text message that would change everything. "He found me, the mirror man from my dreams. He's real, and he's here." Sarah, Emily's roommate, was asleep when the first text arrived, but her phone buzzed with an urgency that woke her instantly. The message read, "Sarah, it's Emily. Don't call the police yet. I need you to do exactly what I say." Then came a flood of messages, each more disturbing than the last. "He doesn't just follow people. Dot. He absorbs them through their screens. Check under my bed. There's something I hid from you. If you see a face in any reflection that isn't yours, close your eyes and count to 30. The number you're texting isn't my number anymore. It's his." But the most chilling message came at 3:30 a.m. "Sarah, this is still Emily, but I'm not alone in here anymore. He's teaching me things about the space between signals, about the darkness that lives in digital static. And Sarah, ... He wants to meet you too." When Sarah tried to call Emily's number, she heard something that still haunts her to this day. Emily's voice, but speaking in reverse. repeating the same phrase over and over. When she played the recording backwards later, it said, "Help me. He won't let me hang up." When police arrived at 4:30 a.m., they found Emily's room exactly as she had left it, except for one detail that would prove crucial. Her laptop was still open, displaying a document titled "How to Contact the Dead Through Digital Devices." The document contained detailed instructions on something called electronic voice phenomena and digital seance protocols. But what shocked investigators was the document's timestamp. It had been created at 3:17 a.m., the exact time Emily had sent her first text from the alley. How could she be typing on her laptop while texting from outside? Detective Rodriguez, who worked the case, discovered Emily's internet search history, revealed months of research into missing persons, cases with similar patterns, people who vanished while using their phones late at night, only to have their devices continue sending messages long after they disappeared. There were 17 documented cases across 3 states, all with identical timestamps to 3:17 a.m. Emily had been tracking these disappearances, trying to find a pattern, trying to find him. But instead of finding answers, she'd apparently found exactly what she was looking for. And it had found her back. 3 days after Emily's disappearance, Sarah finally worked up the courage to search under Emily's bed, following the cryptic text message instructions. What she found changed everything. A metal box containing printed screenshots of text conversations Emily had been having with an unknown number for over 6 months. The messages revealed that Emily hadn't randomly encountered this entity. She'd been communicating with it, trying to understand it, thinking she could outsmart it. The conversations started innocently. "Who are you? Why do you appear in people's phones?" Gradually, they became more sinister. "I can show you things beyond the screen, Emily. I can take you to a place where digital and physical worlds merge. All you have to do is trust me." At 3:17 a.m., the final printed message was dated October 11th, just 1 day before her disappearance. "Tomorrow night, Emily, I'll be waiting in the alley. Don't bring your phone, ... because after tomorrow, you won't need it. You'll become part of the signal itself." Sarah realized with growing horror that Emily hadn't been kidnapped or murdered. She had walked willingly into a trap she'd been setting for herself for months, believing she could control something that was far beyond human understanding. But Emily's story doesn't end with her disappearance. Over the past 3 years, her phone number has continued to send messages to random people across the country. The pattern is always the same. The messages arrive between 3:15 and 3:20 a.m. They contain personal information about the recipient that no one should know. And they always end with an invitation to join Emily in the space between signals. Tech experts have tried to trace the number, but it doesn't exist in any cellular network. It's a ghost number, a digital phantom that shouldn't be able to send messages at all. Dr. Martinez, a digital forensics expert, examined the phone records and discovered something impossible. The messages aren't being sent from any physical device. They're originating from what he calls dead space, the brief moments of silence between digital transmissions, where, theoretically, nothing should exist. 17 people have reported receiving these messages. 14 of them ignored the texts and reported them to authorities, but 3 people responded to Emily's messages. Marcus Thompson from Ohio replied with, "Who is this?" At 3:18 a.m. on March 15th, 2023, he disappeared that same night. Jennifer Walsh from Oregon responded with Emily, "Is that really you?" On August 7th, 2023, she vanished while walking home from work the next evening. Most recently, David Chen from California answered with, "How are you sending these messages?" On January 3rd, 2024, His phone was found 3 days later in his apartment, still displaying a text conversation that his family swears he never had, with messages that seem to document his final moments from the inside of whatever digital prison Emily now inhabits. So here's what I need you to understand. Emily Hart isn't missing. She's evolved. She's become something that exists in the spaces between our digital communications, in the static between phone calls, in the loading screens of our apps. And she is not alone anymore. There are others like her, people who thought they could communicate with the unknown, and instead became part of it. If you've watched this entire video, you've already been marked, not for death, but for contact, because sharing this story, listening to these details, makes you part of the network. So when your phone buzzes at 3:17 a.m., and it will remember Emily's final lesson, some mysteries are better left unsolved, some messages are better left unread, and some calls should never be answered. The space between signals is vast, dark, and hungry, and Emily Hart is no longer its victim. She's become its recruiter. .sss